Hi guys, my name is Tyler, and today in this video I'm going to be doing another violin tutorial. Now yeah, I know it's been a very long time since I did a violin tutorial. Anyways, the violin tutorial I'm going to be doing is Master of Tides, and I got this request quite a long time ago actually. I'm pretty sure you guys want a violin tutorial because I've been like reading through some comments on my old violin tutorials, and it's been saying how I really helped you guys play some certain parts, or I've inspired you guys to play the violin, and that's just crazy because I'm not that good of a violin player. Specific section I'm going to be doing is the chorus part. I'm just going to add like one measure right before the chorus part hits because it's almost like a build-up. Now before I get into the tutorial, I want to point out some certain things. This is what I always do in almost every tutorial. I always mention about the speed, the original speed of the song, and the key signature and time signature, because I'm pretty sure this will really help. Just in case if any of you guys out there are music theorists, the beats per minute in this is set at 128 beats per minute. So if you're gonna play this at a normal speed, you can set your metronome to that. Second thing is that this song is in the key of E minor. I'm just gonna say G major. It only has one sharp, and that sharp is F. The third thing is that this time signature, now get this, is in 12/8 time. That's right. What that means is, in every measure is a total of 12 eighth notes. And you're thinking, I wonder how that's possible. Every dotted quarter note, which is a total of 3 eighth notes by the way, every dotted quarter note gets the beat of 128 beats per minute. And this whole song in general is like a triplet kind of feeling. So we went through the three basic stuff, just the overall layout of the whole song. Now let's get into the actual note by note, rhythm by rhythm, articulation by articulation, and stuff like that. What you're going to start is, you're going to start an open E, and this is going to be a dotted half note, which is 2 beats. Dotted half note E going up bow, that's the first part, and then the notes after that is going to be 2 sets of 3 eighth notes slurred. And it's going to be G, which is your second finger on the E string, and then F sharp, your first finger, and then open E. So those 3 notes is slurred down bow. Next 3 notes is D, B, and A on the A string, and it's a D using your third finger, and then B, your first finger, and then open A. Notice I start up bow because once I start up bow on E and then do those 2 pairs, I hit the chorus on the down bow because that's what usually every phrase of a violin song starts with a down bow. Let's play that measure again. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you notice, that dotted half note is equal 2 beats. Up bow, down, up. Alright, so the first measure of the chorus, what I like to do is give this like a little glissando, because that's what I hear in the original soundtrack. You start off with your 4th finger on the B, which is in first position. You want to match that note with me? And then all in one down bow, I'm going to go from B to E down to open E, like so. Like that. You're still using your 4th finger, you're just using this 4th finger to go up and then release to make that open E. Oops. If you guys are having problems on where that high E is, it is like dead center of the E string. And then that last note was an open E going up bow, and that was completely one measure. Next is I want to start on my 2nd finger, which is on your G. I'm using this to glide up to the B, which is the actual first note of the next measure. And then D, and then A, and then B. And then those are all the 4 notes in the next measure, and they're all dotted quarter notes, just straightforward. And I highly recommend staying on 3rd position, which means your first finger is on the A. So the next measure is going to be a bit complicated because it involves all 12 eighth notes, but they're really articulated in a really complicated way because some of the eighth notes are tied equaling 1 quarter note, not a dotted quarter note, but a single quarter note, which is 2 eighth notes. What you want to start off is 2nd finger G and then F sharp, Just letting you know, all those are eighth notes. G, F, and then E, and then that's the tied eighth notes. So, and then that was D and then E, just like that. If I were to play this slowly, and if each eighth note was 1, 2, 3, 4, it would sound like this. That was basically the whole measure. And as you notice, I gave that little bounce on the D and E because I just think it sounds really cool that way. The next measure after that is gonna be, oh my god. The next measure after this is gonna be really, really complicated. This is all one beat of this next measure. It's gonna be G, and then A, G, F sharp. As you heard that little trill, that is all one beat. You don't have to count, like, you don't have to be precise. Oh man, this is a triplet 16th note, blah blah blah, because it runs by so fast. Just think of it as a little trill. You know, just using your third finger to make that A. Just like tap it. And then release after you hit that A, and then you hit that G, and then just release those two fingers so it sounds like this. That is all one beat. Next beat after that is E, and then D, B. The third beat of the song is going to be slightly complicated, but just pay attention real carefully. It is a dotted eighth note, and then a 16th note, and then a regular eighth note after that. That's all one beat, and slurred down bow. It's going to be an open A, and then you quickly switch some strings to hit that G, and then quickly switch to the open A again, like this. I tried using fourth finger because I would think, oh, all of those notes are basically in one string, but to me it's just like really complicated. If you guys can do it, then you can try that as well. But to me it's just really hard. As you see, I did open A and then cross over to D string G and then open A again. The last speed of this measure, we're still on this measure by the way, this is how complicated this measure is. It is 7 16th notes. That's right. There's 7 16th notes and then a finishing 8th note after that. And that is all one beat. All it just is from A to the A on the E string. Open A to the A on the E string. So you're just pretty much playing a minor scale or something. With that F sharp. A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A. And those are all up bow. If I were to play that whole entire measure slowly, let's say dun 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 dun. 1, 2, ready, go. I just like slam all those notes once I'm on that 7 16th note because you're just basically going up. Like I said, there's no like precise length on each of those 7 16th notes. You just gotta make sure you play all those 7 notes, actually 8, including the 8th note A. You gotta make sure you hit all those 8 notes in under one beat. As you notice, I went down, up, down, up. So the bow is quite simple. It's just the fingerings and the string crossing that I have to deal with. Alright, the next measure after that is the same exact measure as the first one. So if you want to know what the first one is, then just rewind it back because I don't want to make this video too long to explain what it is. In fact, the second measure is the exact same thing as well. Now the measure after this is going to be completely different than the third measure of the whole entire course. You start on the second finger E string, which is your G, and then it's going to be F sharp after that, and all of these are 8th notes by the way, I forgot to mention that. All of these are 8th notes. So those 2 8th notes, and then 2 E's, 8th notes tied, and then this time it's going to be a D on the A string, which is your third finger, and then cross over to the E string, putting your fourth finger down for B. And then 2 eighth notes slurred down bow, A and G. And then we're dealing with the last 4 eighth notes. 2 of them in the beginning are tied, and that's the F sharp. And then finish off with E and then F sharp. So like this. Oops. Like that. And then the D and then B, I added a bounce. The next measure after that is actually going to be the 8th measure of the whole entire chorus. And what I heard in the original soundtrack, Lindsey puts a double stop. And if some of you guys don't know what a double stop is, it's where you play 2 notes at once, you know, a certain interval. It doesn't really matter. Like that. Those are double stops. Even 2 open strings, those are double stops. So what I'm gonna start off is, if any of you guys are like more on the beginner side, then I would suggest playing these top notes. And then what it is 3 G's on the E string. They're all 8th notes, by the way, and they all bounce. You play those 3 G's, 1, 2, 3. And then starting up bow is the next beat F sharps. And then after that is E, and then D, B, and then open A, back to B again, and then open D. So if I were to play that measure by itself slowly, it would sound like. Now for those of you who want to know the double stops, it's only the first 2 beats. It's the G, which is your second finger, plus a B on the A string, which is your first finger. So you're playing these 2 notes 3 times. And then next is quite easy actually. It's an open A string, and then you're just throwing down your first finger for the F. You know, starting up bow. And then the rest after that are single. E, E, D, B, A, B, D. So it sounds like this. Sometimes I make a mistake, and when I hit like the last 3 notes, I keep hitting the D string, which I shouldn't. But it still sounds pretty cool anyways.